Hey guys, so today we are answering a subscriber question, and the question in question is, Frederick, do you think that programming should be part of the school curriculum or base education? So let's get into it. Well, I would say no, and that may come as a shocker to some of you, but just let me walk you through it. So the way that I think about programming is that programming is the sort of profession. I mean, some schools actually do have this as part of at a high school level education. We had it at my school, and I have a few friends who actually studied programming. Now the issue here is that the people who took programming specifically, my friends, they were taught C level development, and they were taught this by none other than our mathematics teacher. Now, do you reckon that these people are programming today? No, they don't even remember like the very bare bone basics of what it was like to program anything. All they actually had to do in order to pass, like the whole course was basically programming arbitrary small programs such as, implement a clock-like function in C. Now, that is not programming. That is one of the biggest and most fundamental flaws with our education system, and that is that it is mimicking education. It's mimicking knowledge. It's trying to... It misses the whole point about learning software development. Now, the reason why it's missing this point is because the people who are running the show have this, well, it's not the people necessarily running the show, but the way that the education system works today is that it's more important that you get a piece of paper stating something that isn't always true. If somebody goes out of high school with the highest grade in programming, depending on what school and the background they have, you can pretty much wipe your ass with that education, because it's very unlikely that somebody will learn the sort of skills that they actually need in order to use those skills in a live environment. And that is why I don't think this should be part of it, because like the basic education for our kids should be geared towards, and it should have been this way since forever. It's about teaching kids survival skills. They need to learn how to survive, just a base level skill set that they need in order to survive in a society. It's always been baffling to me how we can push for things that have almost no practical meaning in the education system, while things like doing your taxes or making a proper CV, I mean, that's stuff that not even some of the teachers know stuff about. That is, in my world, a big failure in our society, in the education system overall. Because education in of itself, you have to remember, some kids are gifted, some kids are not, some kids are interested, and some are not. And you have to cater to the people, like you have to give each and every one of them a chance to actually survive as, just in society. And there's nothing stopping a person from continuing their education the way it works today, where, right, you get your base skills that you can use. I mean, and if you want to continue your education and you're truly interested, there's higher level educations out there. The system we have for that works pretty well today. We can talk about the way that some countries charge, like almost to the point where I'm like, well, that's a different discussion, but education, there is no excuse for it. Education should be free in my world. I'm sorry, that's my opinion, but there is an option at least for you to learn these skills, and even the higher level educations today, when it comes to software development, they can't be on par with the sort of things that you will learn in the workplace. So even now, you're not at the point where the education system can truly produce good software developments. This field, as it stands today, requires a lot of personal investment. You can almost, I'm not saying completely, but it's very unlikely that you just by going through the education system is going to, you're not going to produce a good software developer from just the school system. They are going to have to invest quite a lot in their own time. And that's true for quite a lot of professions. There's very few educations And well, there's very few professions today where the school system just produces people who are ready to go out and take a job. Almost none of them do. And that's why I don't think it makes much sense to just put even more stuff in, because the more stuff you put in, the less time you have to put on quality, because you do actually have a finite time for, and that's something that I also think is kind of funny with the school system, where the mentality is kind of, oh, if a kid is doing poorly or something is not going the way it should be, that's the kid's fault, and the curriculum is what the curriculum is. Well, if you reverse that and think about it, you have only so many hours in a school day. The kids have only so many hours of free time. That means that the schools need to actually adjust the curriculums and focus on and basically provide an education that fits within that time frame, because you don't have an infinite amount of time. There is a finite amount of time. It's just that we don't actually like to talk about that sort of thing, in my opinion, because that means that now you have to consider that, oh shit, we may actually not have a good grasp of what we need to teach our kids. So that's me ranting a little bit here. I'm sorry about that, but I've seen it so many times where, you know, it's more about the process of, like, you have a curriculum and you teach some of the basics are very truly useful, but some schools have, like, it's almost like, I'm guessing it's due to other incentives than quality education, because I don't actually believe that it is a good idea to squeeze every single thing that could be useful into the curriculum when you don't have infinite amounts of time. So no, that's my answer. I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that we should keep things kind of the way it is and have another take on things, where we consider making it more accessible to get into higher level educations, because basic education should be about survival for everybody and focus truly on those core skills, while higher education should be for those who actually really want to progress to something else. So what I want you to take away from this is that, well, that's basically it. I think that programming should stay in as a higher level education, at least for now. Have a great day.